Hey guys, Arsene here. So today we're going to compare the efficiency of video editing programs when it comes to utilizing hardware. I have decided to compare Adobe Premiere Pro, Vegas 14 Pro and DaVinci Resolve 12.5 because I think these are probably like the first choices for most people, and if you have any other suggestions, put them down below. This is the beginning of what I plan to make a series, at the end of which I plan to determine my video editing platform of choice going forward. In this video, I performed a simple render test of my previous video, the keyboard review, that you can check out here, in 4K. I exported my original Premiere Pro timeline into the Final Cut Pro XML profile, so I could import it into all the other programs easily without any problem. Later on, I rendered this out in 4K in each program, even Premiere Pro, so it would not have the unfair advantage of having a native timeline compared to the other ones. As a result, the render settings are as following. For Vegas Pro, I used the XAVC long preset, XAVC S long preset, which gave me actually a lot of trouble because I did not know which preset to use in Vegas. They do not have like that simple YouTube 4K preset, so I had to search far and wide for any 4K preset. As a result, it took me forever to find something, which I tried making my own presets, but then they would render for 40 plus minutes, yeah. This preset rendered in a faster time than 40 minutes, but it was rendering at 100 megabits per second, which is not optimal, but as you can see right now, probably you would not see any difference between the different programs or how they rendered out. They give you pretty much the same picture, especially with YouTube conversion. So for DaVinci Resolve, I used two render settings because at the beginning I rendered it out. I used the YouTube 1080p preset, and then I just scaled up the resolution to 4K. But I still kept the bitrate of 10 kilobytes. I later on realized that and corrected that to 40 megabytes per second, so it matched the bitrate of the YouTube preset, which I used in Premiere Pro. You can find the build versions of the applications that I used in the description below. Well, since all programs use different bitrates, the file sizes were also quite different. As a result, you can see that the largest file, of course with the largest bitrate, came from Vegas Pro with 4.6 gigabytes. It's completely unusable and do not render at 100 megabits. It's not worth it at all. Then Premiere Pro came in second last with 1.7 gigabytes, and for DaVinci Resolve, the 40 megabytes per second was at 1.4 gigabytes, and the 10 megabits per second was at 500 megabytes. Now let's check out the CPU usage while rendering. I rendered the videos and had Windows Resource Monitor running side by side and to see the CPU utilization, and here are what I observed as the averages. Premiere Pro was around 70%, which it was not great. It kept jumping up and down, but it was roughly around 70%. Maybe that's a high ball. For DaVinci Resolve, at the 10 megabytes per second, I had the 91% average, but the Resource Monitor kept showing me for this one and all the others that spikes going into 100 and 110%. For 40 megabytes per second, I had the 83% CPU utilization, and for Vegas Pro, I had an abysmal 68%. It kept jumping up to 100%, but it also went down to 40% sometimes. It's probably a problem with the codec or the preset, but I welcome your suggestions on what I can improve there, because I think this test has to be reperformed, especially in Vegas Pro. As for RAM, it seems that DaVinci is just using the most RAM, with Premiere Pro utilizing a maximum of 11.8 gigabytes, DaVinci utilizing 14.3 in both situations, and the most efficient one being Vegas Pro with 10.7. And I think finally we come to the thing that you really want to see, is what would be the render times compared to between the same video. And as a result, for Vegas it was 18.3 minutes. DaVinci at its 40 kilobit preset, it was at 12.5. It was at 10 minutes and 41 seconds. For the 10 megabytes per second preset, it was 8.32 seconds. And for Premiere Pro, 15 minutes and 04 seconds. I think, especially considering the YouTube compression and how far it compresses down your video, just using a lower compression would probably be the most efficient way. So these have been my provisionary tests, and I'd like to hear some of your feedback on which settings I should use and what I should change, and especially for Vegas, because with Vegas I had the most trouble, so if somebody can give me some suggestions, that would be very welcome. I believe there must be some better way for a more efficient 4K preset in Vegas, or just something I can do in Vegas, because for now it does not work. So please like the video, comment for what you'd like me to test and what I should change, and subscribe to see more of these videos. See you in the next one.